recurring billing feature. So to find that, you just hover over process payment and click on recurring billing. And we're brought to this search screen. So this is where you can actually find existing recurring billing profiles that you've already created. I'm not going to search for anything particular here. I'm just going to hit the search bar and see what we have. And it looks like we only have one active record right here. It gives us some information about the initial dollar amount and the dollar amount that's going to be charged on the next recurring billing cycle, what date that billing cycle will run again, and just some information about the customer as well. But let's go back to our recurring billing page, and we're going to create a brand new recurring billing profile from scratch. To do that, we click on Add New Recurring, and we're going to have some information to fill out here. So let's just start from the beginning. First, I want to charge my customer the initial amount. So this is if you're going to charge your customer right now, today, a transaction, maybe an enrollment fee or their first installment on their recurring plan or whatever. So in this case, we'll just say it's a $10 enrollment fee, and I want to charge my customer a recurring amount. So this is how much every time this recurring profile takes place, how much the customer is going to be charged. So we'll just say $25. So again, we're going to charge the customer $10 today, and then every time the recurring payment plan becomes active or hits the date that the charge is set to run, it's going to run $25. Okay? So I want to charge my customer, moving on here to the recurring plan details, I want to charge my customer every 1 month, we'll say. So you have some options here, right? So you have weeks and days. So you can say I want to charge my customer every 2 weeks or every 3 days or whatever you want to set up this plan to do. For us, most commonly used every 1 month. The next day I want to charge my customer, and we'll just put this as August 1st here. So if we go back to our initial fields here, we're going to charge the customer $10 today, and then on August 1st, which is the next day my customer is to be charged, they're going to be charged the recurring amount, this $25. Okay. Next, we have the last day I want to charge my customer. I'm going to leave this blank because we have no end date. If you are just doing a 12-week program or whatever, you can type in just the weeks or months that you want this plan to be active. But if there is no end in sight, then we'll just leave it blank. And if a recurring transaction fails, reattempt the charge for the next, we'll say, 2 days. So if this $25 gets rejected for whatever reason, a decline, for example, the gateway will automatically try it the next day, so on the second, and then the day after that on the third, just to collect this $25. And then after these 2 days are up, then it's not going to try anymore. It'll be upon the business to actually reach out to the customer at that point and maybe get a new form of payment. So now we get down to typing in the billing information and all these other fields that we have, and you'll notice that of all of these things, there's only a couple that are required. The email address, which has this little red star next to it, the credit card number, and the expiration date over here on the right. So let's just go ahead and fill out what's needed, and maybe a few more bits of information just so it's easy to find this recurring plan when we look it up later. So I'm going to just type in my email address here, josh@agms.com. We'll put my name, oops, fix that. And I'm going to leave all the rest of these fields blank. We don't need to worry about any miscellaneous information. We'll get to the payment information, but before we get there, check this out. We have player info. Remember, these are our custom fields that we set up way back in the first video when we were configuring the virtual terminal. So when we set up these custom fields, they have applied not only to the virtual terminal, which is what we were looking at then, but also to the hosted payment page that we saw in the last video, and now here as well. These custom fields with this label of player info has been brought to all these different modules within the gateway, which is really, really helpful that we only had to set these up one time and they get applied to wherever we need them within the gateway. So again, I'm going to leave this portion blank just for our recurring profile, but we could set it up just like any other field, any other place that we see these fields at. Let's go ahead and fill out our payment type now. So we'll put in our demo card number and expiration date. And that's that. We are all set. So what's going to happen again is when I hit create plan, it's going to set up this recurring plan starting on August 1st to run $25, but it will also run my card right now for $10 because I want to charge my customer $10 today. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. We're going to hit create plan, recurring plan set up correctly, and there we see it as the second uh, successful plan that we've set up on this demo gateway. We can take a look at our recent successful sales, and we have this one today run for $10, and this should be all of my information that I just typed in. Yep, Josh Hogan at Josh Hogan and Josh at AGMS.com is the email address. You'll see the source here is recurring initial. So that's a little different than what we saw in our first videos where we were running these $10 transactions from the virtual terminal, right? So the source is dependent upon how you actually process this transaction. Here's this $20 from, again, the virtual terminal. And if we go back to our $10 one that we just ran, you see it as recurring initial payment. So that will be the same. You'll see the source show up as recurring billing cycle when this transaction hits on the first. One thing that's kind of cool with the recurring billing plans is not only can you jump in here and do a search and just see when these next run dates are going to be, you also have a report called recurring projections. And if I click this and I say, okay, I want to show all of the recurring projections that I'm going to run between today's date and we'll just call it, I don't want to do August 1st, let's do August 31st. And we're going to group by weeks. So what that will show us is that we have two recurring billing transactions on the week beginning July 29th. So this week, where the first day is July 29th, we have two recurring billing transactions for a total of $875 expected to run on this week. Now if I click this button, it gives a full breakdown of the individual, so my email address, the name that's on this recurring billing profile, the individual dollar amounts that are going to be charged, and the actual date that they're going to be charged, right? So this is just the view of the week of July 29th, but you can actually see the specific dates that these transactions are going to run. So that. That's a quick look at recurring billing. There's not a lot of complexity to it. It's pretty straightforward, especially once you get your first couple recurring plans under your belt. You can kind of see how these things get created and how you can edit them, which is again just go into search and we can just hit the edit button, much like we did on the hosted payment pages. So that's that. Hopefully this video was helpful. As always, if you have any questions about recurring billing or any other portion or module in the gateway, you can give us a call or send us an email. You can always find our contact information right here under the support tab of the AGMS gateway. Send us a message right from here or give us a call anytime. Until next time, I hope this video was helpful and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks.